Peeps of the world, we're the three philosophers. We're here to talk about everything. We're here to talk about nothing. Hopefully, we're here to talk about something that interests you, excites you, makes you wonder, makes you go, wow. We're excited today. We actually have the winner of the giveaway, Miss Tiffany. So, you lazy peeps out there that didn't respond, you could have got this nice gift of a CBD vape pen with extra juice. We did the giveaway on episode 28 or 29-ish.
I forget. Yeah,
something like that. And the idea was to highlight a local business that does CBD products. And so an idea we had was to come up with this giveaway, again, $100 value, to try to get the product out and show people kind of the benefits of CBD and kind of bust all the myths about all you anti-marijuana people out there, and the people especially who think that marijuana and CBD is the exact same thing. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Your wonderful gift.
And if you want a different color, we can swing that. We got we don't have
Is that
red
a white
anymore.
one?
No,
Green?
we have cayenne.
Okay.
Yeah, you want that? Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, we'll figure.
We'll show you all
Yeah,
after
if
this.
you want to open that up and see what color it is, if that's the color you like.
Yeah, it says red.
Oh, nice.
Wait. I don't think we can. Oh yeah, we can open it. We got
Yeah,
this
yeah,
place.
yeah.
Yeah,
We got it.
yeah. That's fine.
We're good.
Yeah, we got this place.
So
They say.
What's that ticking sound?
Right.
Oops.
So have you vaped before? Are you smoker, non-smoker?
More like not CBD.
The other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other herbal
The
product.
other, yeah, which is helps a lot. Medicinally, different things.
You can really. It's easy actually to get your medical card in Pensacola now.
How?
Super easy. I have the card. It's on my phone. I have the card for I forget her name. Is it Bigsby or something over off Scenic Highway?
Okay,
Yeah, $200. You go see her. You tell her what's wrong. Like, I have insomnia, so I go tell her I have insomnia, and she's one of the people that prescribes the highest doses in Pensacola.
And she's a physician.
She's a physician. She
Nice.
specializes in medical marijuana. So you go to her.
So this is ready to go, right?
That's no. I can set it up.
Yeah. Get it ready.
She's been treating. She's like a pediatrician as well.
Yeah. So you go to her, you tell her what's wrong, she'll check you up. It doesn't take long. Once she's all
See, I just figured Pensacola would, like the old South, try to cock block all the progressive.
you just got to know where to go.
Nice.
Yeah. So she does
So it's
it.
the secret handshake thing.
Yeah, and it takes. But the only thing is, it takes forever for you to get the thing, and it takes. You have to wait 60 days to use it once you get it. It used to be 90 days.
So you get a license, and then you have to wait 60 days.
Yeah. But I don't know. So once you get it, you can go to what's his face over there off Davis and check all this shit out. They got everything you need, like everything.
Sounds like an excursion.
A little bit. But yeah, $200, dude. 60 days.
Yeah, I got mine from
One of the guys who used to come to the store actually has one already.
from Cali.
Oh, right on. You have to renew every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
two?
But
I think
California
so.
was a lot easier because it was literally,
Just go and say you like weed.
I don't know if I should say this or not, but how you do it in California is you go to a dispensary, and there's generally someone in the parking lot who's going to give you a flyer, and that flyer has a list of the physicians that are CBD, or in this case, weed friendly. And then you get this little card, and you're like, oh, okay, this one's close to me on the corner of such and such and such and such. And then you drive there, and it's like going to the DMV.
Yeah.
It looks like that,
Stand in
and it
line.
feels like that. That whole experience is the same.
Give me a second.
And so what you do is you sit there, and you have to pay like $20 to, I guess, the physician fee. And then it's like $40 for the actual physical license. So $60, you go back, you see a physician, and you're like, the physician there in California was asking like, okay, are you on any medications? And if you are, if you're on any medications, then they try to sync you up with the kind of medications that you're on. So if you're on medication for sleep stuff, they write the prescription for that.
Okay.
And then you go to the
They find the best.
dispensary.
Okay.
Yeah. And what's crazy is I guess they're called bud tenders, but you go to any of the dispensaries and they're super knowledgeable. I mean,
You have to be you have like a plethora of these beautiful buds.
Oh, it's
They're all
a
different.
science. I mean, I grew up smoking, random weed from somebody. Yeah, exactly. Creeper.
Yeah.
And you hook up with someone and score a bag of whatever, and you don't really know what you're smoking, and you don't know the difference between indica or sativa or any of that. You had some street slang, Reggie or creeper or whatever.
They're just really
Yeah.
just Reggie without seeds. Like it's
Yeah.
not that good.
And I mean, even then, in the early days, I never got a hold of nice bud. I mean, we'd get shake, we'd get all kinds of crazy nastiness, and be happy to get it, But you go into a dispensary and it's like, literally, I was on Ambien, and I went in and they were like, and the Ambient's the devil. I mean, it is truly the devil. And you show up in the dispensary and you're like, yeah, I'm on this, and one time I was on Xanax for anxiety or whatever, and they're like, oh, what you need is the Coma OG. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, we mean Coma OG? And, well, you need a strong indica. And the bud tenders, I mean, they go through specifically every little thing. And,
The percentages.
oh, yeah. And I mean, it really is that. I mean, of course, California's been doing it a while. But I hope Florida gets that way. And nationally, just for you people out there that get confused, is, CBD, again, like we talked about on some of the other podcasts, is there's around 400 molecules, chemicals that are in marijuana, and the CBD products that they have here are around 399 of those. So really, the only thing that you're not getting, and this is full spectrum, so the only thing that you're not getting is the THC.
Yeah, a lot of people were scared because they thought, because some CBD products didn't dilute the THC as much as they needed to, and it was people were popping piss tests. But Green Roads has done a crap ton of scientific not Green Roads, Diamond CBD.
Was it
Crap ton of scientific research.
the third party tested?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We tested it. They've tested it
Oh, and he was doing actually this product
while I was taking a P test.
about a month before. So I mean, he was doing this a month before, and then got a new job and had to do a P test.
Yeah. Since I work for a distribution company, I had to get a P test from Sacred Heart. So while I was smoking this, I was taking a urine sample for them to see if I was having any drugs in my system.
So it's legit.
Yeah, it's super legit.
Good.
But be careful. I was just telling these two guys today. I took 3 large.
Yeah, don't do that.
Chiefed it, and it's as strong as any pretty much weed that you've had, if you really like hit it. I don't know what the dosage is, the recommended stuff, but you're gonna have to. And this is the weird thing, and this is the problem I have with Western medicine, is your biology, your physiology is as unique as a fingerprint. But in order to mass produce these pharmaceutical meds that they pop out like crack dealers, they try to get a one size fits all thing. And never is there any kind of study done if medication A blends with medication B and what happens. They don't do that. They do the side effects, usually on rats or poor little rabbits or something, on that product, but not necessarily if that product mixes with a different product. She's going to try it. Drum roll.
Right. Some people don't like that taste. I like it.
I like it.
That's just its regular flavor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's straight up.
Yeah. And what you, I've got some.
Yeah. I didn't bring mine.
Yeah. I've got mine. Oh, I'll try it.
I mean, it's the same shit.
It's the same stuff.
Yeah. It gets everybody happy.
So is this one the regular or the extra?
This is the max strength.
That's that's the highest we carry, only because I don't know why it's so strong. Oh, because it has CBN in it. That's why.
Oh, you changed the color.
Yeah.
Nice. But like I said, 3 like large and hold it in like you're hitting something.
It's hard to drive.
Yeah. So be careful with it for sure. Yeah.
We'll see how this, because I just worked out yesterday, so we'll see if this makes any.
Nice.
But that stuff, man, holy shit. But I had the higher dose, which I think they say it's
Higher than this?
Yeah, it's liquid gold. That's $50 for that milligram. That milliliter.
Mm-hmm.
The higher one is, I think, $90 for that size.
So twice.
Yeah.
Almost twice.
Yeah. And that was the one that I got all goofy on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't drive after that either.
Yeah.
No. That
that's
stuff
scary.
will hit you like a freight train.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's liquid gold, is that one.
But it's crazy because the store we both worked at, we sent a couple people to get this exact stuff.
Yeah.
And one guy in particular, God, he was bouncing off the walls. What's his name?
He's on my Facebook.
I don't know. He's a guy that we see a lot. But
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't remember his name. But he would come in and his story, his I guess customer recommendation. He said no matter how bad work got, he could handle it now. And I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good. I mean, that's, no matter how stressful anything. So for him, it was just, he uses the CBD just kind of take the edge off.
Well, that's better than having to go in the back and take like a Valium or Xanax or just calm.
Yeah, or smoke a little bit
With
of weed
none
while
of the
you're
side
at work.
effects.
Uh-huh.
I mean, let's be real. Most pharmaceuticals cause at minimum some hardcore constipation,
Oh, yeah.
And
And Lortabs make you really angry after a while.
I did that.
I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever been on Lortabs? I blew my knee out at GE. I worked at GE down here and came out of a generator and blew my knee out, tore my MCL. And they put me on the Lortab 10s. And they said take 1 to 2 every 2 to 4 hours.
And
So,
you never taken it before?
I know. And I'm on the couch. I can't move. I'm on crutches. Exactly.
You zombie out.
And, I'm like, well, I mean, I'm hurting like a son of a bitch. So yeah, I'm reading the prescription. So I'm hurting. The prescription says. So I took one and kind of felt like I was in a hot bath, and took a second one and just kind of melted into the couch. And I'm like, I kind of dig this.
I feel like Jell-O.
I really liked them. Within probably 5 days, like less than a 7-day week, I would have people call me and I would be snapping at them on the phone. Like, I'm trying to get to the phone. I mean, I was like wigging out
like
over the
3 days for
slightest
me.
little thing. Yeah.
It was like being hangry and having a headache at the same time.
Coming down off of it?
I don't even
you
know.
want it?
I was still taking them, but I don't know, like in the regiment, if I was 4 hours in or 6 hours in.
Yeah, it was for me. It was like when after you would come down after an hour or so, you're just really edgy.
Man, I mean, but people literally started saying shit to me, and I was like,
The littlest shit.
I never finished that prescription, and I had 2 more waiting. A bottle of 60.
Wow, they just hand that
Yeah.
Oh, like Adderall. Like it's just.
Yeah. I read somewhere, or maybe it was on NPR or something, that, and don't quote me the exact figures, but it was something like 68% of Americans are on at least one pharmaceutical, and like 42% are on at least 2. At least 2. So half of America is running around
Doped up.
Yep, that's why you're wondering, like, what is going on with everybody? Because they're all on drugs.
I'm telling you, that's my theory. That's why when it's raining and it's 7:00 in the evening and you can't see,
No blinkers,
and
no
no
lights.
one has headlights on.
No, I deal with that all the time on my.
I mean, they look down. They have no idea. Am I going too fast? Do I have any oil? Do I have any gas? I mean, they don't know. They're driving a 4,000-pound vehicle.
Who cares? I'm driving a death machine.
Yeah. So, anyway, how did you find out about us? How did you become a watcher of this crazy podcast, and give us an honest critique of what you've seen so far?
We suck.
Well, a friend of mine, Sarah.
Mutual friend.
Yeah. She actually messaged me and was like, hey, check this out. So I did, and that was it. And I noticed that y'all were actually just sitting around having conversation. And what I liked is that even if y'all don't agree on everything, y'all still try to come down to some kind of, I think that's working.
Right?
Isn't it?
It works.
Yeah.
But yeah, come to like some kind of agreement or like agree to disagree.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel that way all the time, though. It feels like we're always disagreeing with something.
Yeah.
We might
Always.
be, but like y'all seem to tend to work it out, whereas I guess comparing to the general public, where if two people disagree, they might just and like a lot of negativity is there, but y'all seem to kind of.
That's America.
Well,
are you left? Are you right? You're Republican? Or are you Democrat?
We're all on the same team, y'all.
Exactly. For real.
Why can't we all just get along?
Right.
Yeah, generally it's Brett and I arguing, and Sean's the mediator.
Yeah, it sucks.
Generally,
a lot.
Generally, Sean. But I mean, one thing about Sean is he can look. I don't know if you're just being a PC fuck, but
I hate PC.
He does generally see a middle ground in almost every conversation, and he can take sides without taking sides. If that makes any sense. I mean, it sounds
do that. I've noticed I do that, and I don't know I'm doing that.
You need to run for office.
I should run for office, but no, I'm not. I hate being PC, but I like to see it how it is.
I mean,
like,
two people can argue,
take what both people
and he
are
can
saying.
make both people feel good.
Yeah, that's it. And dealing with him and Brett, you have to find common ground fast.
Some very passionate personalities.
Yeah.
I'm a Leo.
I'm too laid back for them.
Yeah. Sometimes.
But what's that? I'm not trying to be.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I was
Food camp.
Food Camp RX. We are inside of Alpha Omega Gym, CrossFit Gym over on East 490 East Heinberg. And we serve all kinds of organic, low acid coffee, espresso, cappuccino.
Really?
We try to do it in cold brew.
Ooh, that's my favorite.
Is this new?
It's newer. She's maybe past year.
Okay, so about a year.
So, and then got to a point where she needed help, and I was just in a crazy job, I was pulling my hair out, or whatever. And I'm all about natural medicine, food is medicine, that kind of thing. And somebody came in and was like, "I got somebody that needs help." Just kind of fell in my lap. One of those moments.
Nice. The universe.
Yeah,
She
right?
Does, I do want to give a shout out for her because she does nutritional consultations, and she can also dive really deep into medical history if you want her to. And she is a naturopath doctor.
Okay.
But it's the whole licensing thing because we're in Florida.
So did they have to go to quote unquote normal medical school?
She went through an ND program.
Okay.
It was still a medical program, but they teach you how to go holistically as opposed to just looking at one part of the
God, maybe we get her on the podcast
Mhm.
because that's my hot button. Is I've argued in the past. I dated a girl who was an RN, and her uncle owned a pharmacy, and her father was an anesthesiologist. So basically, it was a family business. And my mom was a court reporter, and most of what she did, most of the cases that she handled, were based on medical malpractice. So as a little bitty kid, I didn't even know what I was hearing. It was probably just osmosis. But I would hear all these medical malpractice cases where someone accidentally forgot and left scissors inside someone and sewed them up.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so I would hear all this stuff, and I realized at a really early age that doctors aren't gods. They're people.
Yeah.
And one thing we're good at, we're probably especially in the U.S., we're probably some of the best mechanics on the planet. I mean, if you have a broken ligament, tendon, bone, whatever, I mean, we've got that figured.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to diagnosing complex issues and treating holistically, it's horseshoes and hand grenades. We're still Stone Age. But the problem with the medical industry is they treat you like you're a god. And so then when you deal with these people, like how many times have you been to a doctor and you've been talked down to?
Like you're a 5.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, listen, I know my own body, and believe it or not, I know big words.
Your
You can
liver
talk
thing.
to me like a normal person. And it's just they're so cocky, and they're so I guess people have become sue happy, so they're so scared of lawsuits and stuff. There's like all these regulations and procedures, and it's so formal. I mean, we've lost that personal touch, and like you said, food is medicine. And none of that is caught. I mean, it's the same thing with a cop. Cops don't really take law, right? They learn how to shoot their gun in their boot camp, but they don't take a lot of legal classes. And the same thing with doctors. Doctors specialize. They don't take nutrition.
Just now started incorporating it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how does that even make sense?
Yeah.
And then it's just a touch, like you said, it's just a blip.
How can you tell me to be healthy if I'm not eating healthy? Oh, just take this pill. This will fix it.
I mean, any computer program will tell you
Yeah.
garbage in,
Nutrition,
garbage out.
fuck it. Lower tabs. Oxycontin.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, there you go. Adderall. You don't need to eat.
Any
some soda.
any computer person tells you garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
Right? When you write code, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
If you write bad code on the front end, the product's going to be bad.
Exactly.
That's not a body. Bad stuff in, bad stuff out.
Yeah.
I mean, you've eaten Taco
Yeah.
Bell.
Oh, yeah. I love it,
Bad
too.
stuff in, bad stuff out.
Yeah. That hurts. That's tough.
2 a.m. at the Taco Bell.
But when you're so drunk, it's so good. Like quesadillas at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're just hammered.
So
Yeah.
you work at the nutrition
I'm getting
place.
Taco Bell. Yeah.
But and what is it they all do?
She offers her medical side of the nutritional consulting and medical things like that, and then the other side of it is the supplements that she has tried and personally has she really like they worked for her, so she wants to tell other people about it. So she carries stuff that she herself takes or drink, proteins and things like that.
It's acting funny.
Oh, the microphones.
We're doing crazy. Yeah, 2 microphones.
2 microphones.
Now you have to talk in 2
you're
voices
a politician.
simultaneously.
But yeah, then we have the store, which she's got me there throughout the week, and we're serving coffee, protein shakes.
Okay.
Just,
So it's a practice on the side, but also product.
Mhm.
Nice. There's some place in Pace that I've been in to buy product, but never did their thing. It's Iridology.
alternative health food store, The Hills. I
Right.
love them. Yep.
Yeah,
I've
I've
been to
bought a
Angel.
ton of stuff there, but I've never gotten the Iridology. Have you got it done?
Yeah, Angel Hill did it, which is his daughter. But
So
it was,
how does that work?
basically, I don't
Fasten
know
your
how many-
seatbelt, Sean.
How many
I'm holding
thousands of nerves are attached, but to the back of your eyeballs, and they can look and see depending on placement and shape and different red lines and stuff.
So
and
they
connecting
look
to
into your
different-
eye and diagnose you.
Mhm.
There's a place in Pace, yeah, it's called Iridology. So what she's
My
saying
brain
is,
hurts
right?
just a little bit.
So what she's saying is they look at the vessels in your eye, and if one's thicker than the other or whatever. I mean, that sounds similar to acupuncture, right? Because you have your meridians and in acupuncture.
It's a little different, but yeah, the same concept of how it's all connected.
Interconnected,
yeah.
right? So if there's issue, it's weird because I saw actually I was watching YouTube today and they were doing Tibetan singing bowls, and it made perfect sense the way this. I've never heard it described this way. I mean, because a lot of people
I've never heard of this.
The vibrations.
Oh, never mind. I've heard
the
of
bowls that
this.
they.
Yeah.
So they had someone laying down, and this makes sense with your logical mind. So all you people that think this is quack, this makes sense. They laid someone down, and the way the guy described it is: have you ever thrown a pebble in a lake? Right, and it you see these waves. Okay, when they lay these bowls on you, your human body is like 70% water.
You're rippling.
So when they lay this bowl and they do the sound waves, the vibrations, it'll actually, if you have blockages, right? If you have issues, then these waves aren't going to travel smoothly. They're going to reduce. They're going to be muffled, almost like how we use these pads to try to take some of the sound out, right? On purpose.
Yeah.
So if you have these issues, it causes that. I mean, your water, sound waves go through water, right? Ripples. And so the practitioner can tell by the tone, because he knows this is a D or a E or a C, right? Yeah. Tone, and he hits it, and he can tell, and he keeps doing it, and they've actually shown, and you can see it on YouTube, the sound actually changes the more they do it 2, 3, 4, depending on how bad the blockages are in the person, the sound changes. That's logical.
I've seen shit where people are just laying down on a massage table and then they start yelling.
What?
No, we don't know about thing.
Yeah.
No, they had. Oh my god,
that was the funniest shit I've ever seen. They're just laying on a table this big,
No,
and they're just like, ah,
That's
You
an
feel better
example-
now, right?
That's an example how you take something that's probably real and you make people not believe it.
You choose the wackiest person in that, like, who's practicing.
Yeah,
that
but
to
that
give, as the
sounds
example.
like I
That's
wasn't.
not how it
I was
works.
looking at it as somebody like on the outside looking in, like, okay, what is this? Because it sounded legit.
Well, of course.
and
yeah.
then they were like, they started screaming at people, and I was just like, that
Just doing
doesn't
it
feel
all, but-
relaxing.
But there's something about scientists and academics in general that are they shouldn't have all this ego, because the whole point is to learn things. And if you're an expert at learning things, you think you would like to learn things, but they set this structure and they don't want to change. Archaeologists. So my degree is in anthropology, and archaeologists, that's the Graham Hancock thing that you're reading.
Yeah.
Is they define,
reading that.
how the pyramids were built, their theory.
That book sucks.
And if you come up with anything outside that, man, they fight you tooth and nail. And that's how doctors are. That's how scientists are. So it's just so crazy how people in those fields aren't more open-minded and open to change. I mean, one thing that they described how life is, right, is a lot of humans, we all try to think that life is fixed. We're in Pensacola, Florida. We can point to it on a map. There we are. That's where I live. No, you're on a river. Life is moving, right?
We're moving through space and there's giant
Exactly. So things change.
Earth is
Things
flat,
get better
rocks.
yeah.
in a weird way. And this is sorry, tangent. It's this. It's not my fault. Um,
That stuff's so
they were describing the Mayweather Conor McGregor fight.
Mayweather.
Yeah.
Gotta say it right.
And they were talking about boxing in general. Is the people say that, well, look, Floyd Mayweather is 49-0. He's the best boxer that ever lived. This guy that he's fighting is a mixed martial artist, but that's not boxing. And he's 0-0 as a boxer. There's no way he'll make a difference. And the cool, I forget his name. He's a Canadian guy that does a podcast, something black.
Fuck you out there, bud.
We're gonna have to reference this because it was a really good podcast.
Doing a podcast there, bud.
And he got philosophical on us because he was like, listen, if you look at a boxer in 1909, no matter how good they were any amateur boxer today would probably win, because we've learned more about the body. We've learned more about nutrition, exercise, everything. We're faster. And as a human species, we're accelerating in time. We're getting smarter. We're evolving. And so that's with everything. And the only way change happens is never from within, right?
Yeah.
So nothing changes from within, right? Colonialism wouldn't have changed from within, right? You had to have, Harriet Tubman, right? You had to have the slaves rebel and shake up the system
You
to
gotta
get
have that
change.
one
Yeah, this misnomer,
person.
this
Yeah, yeah.
outlier that sits out there,
outcasts that
right?
do something different.
Yeah. And so his example with Conor McGregor is, this guy's 0-0, but guess what? He stands differently. His timing's different.
He
his
moves
rhythm's
different.
And boxers are so linear and trained. They're specialists.
Yeah.
Humans are all
Precision.
about specialists, and you can translate that to medicine, right? You don't go to any holistic. You don't go. Even the general practitioners have a specialty that they got a degree in.
Yeah.
Podiatry or whatever. And you need an outlier. There's something about the human condition that we'd like to get in this comfortable box.
Yeah.
And it takes some radical outside person to just totally. The only change comes from some radical event or person.
I
think it goes back to the ripple effect. Just one idea. And
Boom.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That's a TED Talk.
that is, yeah. I think the whole Conor McGregor thing is gonna be an upset.
I mean, right now,
I think he would win.
He's an 8-1 underdog. So if you bet $100, you win $800.
I'm betting 50.
I'm going
all the way.
Why not?
But anyway, about the food camp, what else does you provide? Is it the store? Is it classes? I was doing this.
He's zoned out for a second.
Yeah.
No,
They do product. They do consultation.
She is a doctor, but she's has to practice under her nutritional license.
Oh, okay.
Because NDs aren't licensed. NDs are only licensed in, I think, 17 states as themselves. Otherwise, they have to be licensed underneath an MD.
Okay.
practice.
Okay.
She's got that like all this other stuff lined up, but she's doing nutritional consults, and she's able to look at people if you've had like recent labs, blood work, all kinds of stuff.
She can dig into your medical
She
history.
can, yeah, she'll tell you all of that. Like, I went in for, I thought I was eating healthy for all these years, and I was raised where, you do all your chores for a week, and then you can get your soda, your sugary cereal.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought I was healthy.
That's
and
how my
then-
dad was.
But then, once she got me more towards, I realized I guess I was having insulin issues.
Wow.
I'm not diabetic or anything like that, but it was just like my eating habits and why, like, my energy levels and all that kind of stuff was all over the place.
Like
Yeah.
blood sugar problems? Wow.
Where, like some people actually get like the hangry thing. Like when you get ravenous,
Yeah.
that's because.
Oh, I get hangry.
Yep, that's
So I
like,
got an issue.
could be. I don't know.
I get hangry.
I get
I don't know.
super
Everybody's
hangry.
different. It just
And
depends.
then I get headaches, like
We need to
migraines.
make a field trip.
Yeah. We just go over there,
Mhm.
check out what's going on, and then talk about it.
She's
That'd
doing
be super
a
dope.
coffee talk actually on the 27th,
Okay.
July 27th, which is
2027.
Thursday. There's going to be 3 time slots. So we posted like an event on Facebook if anybody wants to follow it. It's her name is Christy Crail Javier, nutritional consultant. But if you look up like Food Camp RX, you should be able.
Oh yeah.
It should come
Yeah,
up.
send
Yeah.
us the stuff and we'll post it on
Okay.
the
Yeah,
the
we'll put
philosophers.
links on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's
But,
really interesting. I didn't even know that was a thing here.
Mhm.
I knew.
I mean,
It's kind of one of
Pensacola.
those things you
Nutritional
have to kind of
values.
stay hidden.
I mean, I've been away
Yeah.
for.
This sounds like some
15
East Hill
years
stuff.
now. Exactly. I've been away for like 15 years now. So I lived in Charlotte, lived in Birmingham, lived in Los Angeles, and I come back and Pensacola's changed a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, most of it for the good. Some of it, a little sketchy.
Little sketchy.
I mean, the issue I have is the I thought I was going to be an architect, so I took 4 years of architecture. So I'm a architecture geek, and they're tearing. I mean, Pensacola. A lot of
There's a
people
lot
don't
of
realize
history
is the oldest
Sure.
colonial civilization. I know
Yeah, it's bothering.
the oldest colonial civilization in the Americas, or well, in North America. Saint Augustine claims to be, but they were the
No.
first continuously occupied
Yeah.
colonial city.
Because
That's-
they were underwater.
Well, Pensacola was founded, got wiped out by a hurricane. 60 years later, refounded, got
why we
wiped
got
out by a
5 flags.
hurricane,
Yeah.
and then 100 years after that, finally settled. So the first 2 previous civilizations, the first 100 years, were wiped out twice. So that tells you something. We're
We're
like a
back,
spot.
bitches.
That is inevitable.
With a
We're gonna
higher
get wiped out
vibration.
again.
But the people that come here aren't from here, and so the architecturally they don't stay at least to that style. If you're going to tear down an old building, one, you shouldn't do it. You should refurbish it. Like if you ever
Yeah.
been to Savannah,
Like all the old homes.
Savannah, Georgia. Oh God,
It's oldie over there.
oh, it's cool as
Yeah.
shit
So you
too.
can like
Georgia's
feel
dope
the
as
history.
shit.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
one of those.
So when all the commerce was coming to the New World, all these ships, these sailing ships would come, and they have to have ballast in the bottom of their ships to keep from rolling over, right? So they'd get to the New World, to the U.S., and they would have to unload all these stones to get their product, whether it's molasses or tobacco, sugar, whatever, to go back. So Savannah was one of those major ports early on, and they had tons of these crazy stones from all over the world. Well, that's what they built their city with. All their roads are these giant
Wow.
ballast stones, and they built walls everywhere, and it feels like you're in like Middle Ages. It feels like castles and shit. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Savannah's
Game of Thrones.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, like Game of Thrones. Yeah, exactly. Oh, don't even talk to me. I don't have HBO right
You
now.
haven't seen it yet?
No,
Ah.
Isn't it just one big long movie now? That
It should be.
this
I
because
mean-
the season's so short this
Oh.
year.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they're doing. I guess there's less episodes but longer.
Yeah,
that stuff's like
that's what I
crack.
heard.
Game
It's
of Thrones
supposed to
is
be
like crack.
just one weird movie now
I mean, it is
because
the
it's shorter.
storyline, and if you're into fantasy, and I used to do Dungeons and Dragons and all that stuff, so that's right
Nerd.
down my alley. Yeah, I know.
Fucking nerd.
I haven't seen.
Nerds
I don't have
rule.
HBO.
That's true. But
Don't have
he's
it.
a nerd on a different level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Tech nerd. Those are the cool nerds.
No, he's the gamer nerd.
Yeah.
I'm more history,
Well, look around you.
archaeology. Yeah, that's all them. That's all them.
Yeah, I'm that kind of nerd.
So what are your hot buttons? What kind of stuff are you into, philosophically?
That's a better way of
what you
wording
into?
things.
Philosophically, a little bit of everything. I guess we've always called, like my family and I always called it like a universalist, that there's truth in everything, but not to we don't just follow one dogma or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's very unique in the Bible Belt and south of the Mason-Dixon line.
And I'm
Yeah.
from here. So that's why it's very
Wow,
hard.
that
it
is
was,
really
It was
interesting.
kind of hard growing up. Yeah.
Ah,
Just got keep my machete sharp.
but you got into the water protector thing.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us your passion.
Well, I mean, I don't see how anybody
Right.
can't be at least upset or anything about it, because like everybody needs water.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't.
Duh.
It's just kind of one of those. But being a Florida native and knowing, I guess the importance of, like, we have a giant aquifer down south that provides clean water it itself is clean. Once it gets through all of our pipes and stuff, then it starts being contaminated. But like 60 to 70% of this, I think us and a little bit of Alabama and Georgia, like all of their water, and they're building the Sable Pipeline Trail, which is a
So,
natural gas.
Most of Florida, some of Alabama and Georgia, all of that water that people drink come from this one aquifer.
Mm-hmm. And they're drilling through. It's like drilling through Swiss cheese, because it's all limestone. Whenever you're down there, and then there's all these. And they're just now getting it on the news, and it's been going on for
And they want to put a pipeline through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a massive sinkhole in Orlando like 2 years back where it took down a whole entire
But this is-
apartment complex.
This is similar to the Standing Rock issue that we covered.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Only it's closer to home. It's in Florida.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
And it doesn't get quite
Well,
as
you got to
much.
remember the state's red, and it bleeds red. At least this year.
Well, you're not even allowed to use the word climate change or global warming, according to what's his name,
You
Scott.
can't even say Trump
the
with an
governor.
accent.
Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
The governor.
No, it's a
mandated-
law.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
law.
Oh,
Well,
what?
It was an email sent out by the governor's office, the governor of Florida, to all state employees that said, starting now, you're not allowed to use in public or in governmental correspondence the word global warming or climate change. You can't do it. They even covered it on NPR. They
Yeah, you
laugh
can't
about
talk about it in
Yeah, down there in
speeches,
Florida, the governor won't even let you.
anything.
Yeah, you can't send it in a letter, in an email. If you're a state employee, you can't use those words or those terms.
Yeah.
Isn't that censorship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, land of the free, America.
America. Trump?
It's baffling how hypocritical we are.
Yeah. Because, I mean, look at 4 years ago, we were a blue state. Now it's just all fucking...
A lot of people are regretting their votes, though. There's a lot of people popping up.
it's
They're
slowly
like, "Oh, I didn't know."
turning
Like,
over, but then there's people that are like, Alabama fans, that they stay true no matter what.
You can
What they
lead a
just went
water to drink, or lead a
Good
lead a
job.
horse
You
to
can lead
water.
water to drink.
You can lead a water to drink.
Can you do that? Can we try that?
We need to. We need to try something.
We're going off the mainstream. We're leading water to water.
I don't know. Some people you can't use facts.
Yeah, that's true.
They're oblivious to
That's
facts.
why
it's like their superpower.
You just go random bullshit, but you hide facts in it.
so we'll just go to their house and cut all their pipelines and be like, okay, well, tell us how you're going to live without water.
Here, drink this natural gas. It's providing jobs.
Right?
Yeah.
Or drink Gatorade. The
Look
plants
at
love
all
it.
of Innerarity Point.
Idiocracy.
It's what plants crave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their sewage runoff runs into the bay. All
That's
Innerarity. Yeah. And it's the grossest thing, because I was kayaking through a canal that goes through all the, seawall houses, and then they have their lifts and shit. And you'll see PVC pipes whenever you're going through those canals.
Raw sewage.
Raw sewage. Because I'm fishing, I'm throwing lines, and all of a sudden...
Wait a minute. You saw that and a light bulb actually went off?
Yes.
I knew you were one of the few.
There we go. I mean, I don't put my poopy in that water.
That's
I used to swim
crazy.
in that water.
Well, that's kind of
crazy.
the whole downtown grid. Wasn't for a while there. It wasn't on the actual sewage system.
Yeah, it was
a lot of
all-
it for years. It's
yeah.
just been dumping into
Because
the
that's how they
bay.
did it when they built
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. Olden days.
God,
All
it
1800s,
amazes me.
Crapping in the water.
And now there's like Lori Murphy with Emerald Coast Keepers. She has stayed on top of like all of our water quality.
Okay, so who's that?
Lori Murphy is I the water goddess.
The water
The
goddess.
local
These are
water.
more people we're gonna have to go.
Does
to
she
Yeah, right?
levitate and glow?
Yes, she does.
Nice.
Water.
But she
That's your mama.
she works with Emerald Coast Keepers, and they just they stay on top of everything as far as drinking water, water to clean, water to swim, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They go out and they do E. coli tests. She has a website on her Facebook that tells you what the E. coli count is at like
Bayou
within a
Chico
2-week thing. Yeah.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
That is gross.
And they're doing the whole Carpenter's Creek cleanup, where they're starting from the mouth of it, which is near like Olive and Cody.
Yeah.
That's where the creek starts, and it flows all the way down into the Bayou Tahar, right?
Tahar,
in the
yeah.
bay, and then
Yeah.
into the Gulf. So that's
Oh, okay.
basically she's hitting it up. Or she's hitting it from the beginning and all the way down to try to
Good.
clean up our coastal waters.
Because our water is just pure shit.
Well, I
You
hate
can't
to
go to
say
any
it, it's
point.
because the military bases.
Yeah, it pumped out, what, 50,000 gallons during Ivan or
Well,
after Ivan?
the
something like that?
military is exempt from any federal regulation as far as EPA. So, for instance, a lot of people don't realize this. So, you have an aircraft carrier. You always launch a plane full of fuel because you don't know when the aircraft carrier wants the plane to land, it's got to steer into the wind.
Don't they dump fuel when they
Right.
land?
So every plane launches full
Yeah.
and lands empty. So even if they just take one lap, they're not even going anywhere, right? They have a full tank of fuel, jet fuel,
Why are we paying almost $3
and
a gallon then?
they dump in the ocean. Yeah. And so
Why don't we
there's
just have a giant funnel and then
there's super
Yeah.
fun sites on Palafox.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
There's Superfund sites everywhere. Superfund sites are hazardous waste sites that are declared by the government to be hazardous waste sites. But a lot of times what happens is they
I know
declare
what
them
you're talking about.
a Superfund site so that they don't have to pay property taxes on them. It doesn't necessarily mean there's a timeline to clean it.
Don't we
So
just cover it with a mound of dirt and then build a neighborhood around it?
As long as you put a sign that
That's
says
the
keep
point.
out. Yeah. Well, there
was
was some school, what's the Brown Barge or something? There was some school down.
Oh, they got shut down because of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
We're getting
it's
sick.
next
Was
to a
it Brown
Superfund
Barge?
site.
I don't remember. There's so many.
It
I
was
can't-
in off Gulf Beach Highway. Perdido. Yeah.
Good old Google.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And the other thing, unfortunately, this isn't embarrassing or I'm ashamed of this. I worked at a chemical plant starting my career. So at 18, I used to clean chemical reactors. I used to go inside in a chemical reactor in a level A air supply suit
Whoa.
at 18 and clean reactors at a chemical plant locally. The state of Florida has 9 deep well injection systems that are grandfathered in. And basically what a deep well injection system is for a chemical plant that makes methyl ethyl death, hazardous chemicals, to inject these chemicals in a reverse oil well setup below the second aquifer and pretend it never comes back up. Because nothing's intertwined, like we talked about the body, nothing's interconnected. You'll just
Plate tectonics didn't happen.
never happen.
Things don't shift.
And so they just pump this stuff down there and pretend it'll never come up. And this plant in Pace was built in 1957. They have one. Northwest Florida has 3 of the 9.
I can't find
Is it like Air Products up in that?
Well, this
area?
was American Cyanamid, which later became Cytec, which later became Sterling Fibers.
Okay.
They
all
closed down in
near
2002.
Off cyan. Well, I'm from Milton. Well, I'm from
Oh, you're from
Milton.
Milton.
Yeah.
it is.
But cyanamid, and there used to be Air Products, and then something else.
Yeah, I was
I
there
guess that's
11
one.
years. And so,
He's going to die when he's 50.
yeah, I probably grow a third eyeball out of my head.
You glow in the dark.
Probably.
He does.
Don't turn the light off.
Yeah.
It'll scare you. Like the Toxic Avenger. Have you seen that movie?
Can we turn the light off now?
Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's one of the top 3 worst movies ever made. Like literally. Like
No.
people who talk about bad movies, there's like a genre of
Like
people.
B films.
No. Like,
Like worse than-
It's worse than B films.
Yeah. Like 4 tiers down. Yeah, Toxic Avenger wins like almost all the
I
time.
think Killer Bong is below a B film.
Yeah, what's the people who grade movies? But it's
Sundance?
people.
No, that's a festival. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's an online.
Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like them and other
like a
sites.
little piece of the green leaf.
Yeah, and they give an award for like the worst movie.
Wow.
And Toxic Avengers
Why
got
don't
it
we
several
do
times.
that?
Her goal is to make the
Give it a
shittiest
word?
movie.
Yeah, let's make the shittiest movie. It's
And,
just
and
like
try to compete for the award, see if we can get it.
Yeah, it's just a black screen for 20 minutes. And then right before you show the credits, you show somebody's butt. So like an old 50-year-old man who's about 300 pounds overweight.
Ooh.
And then he farts.
Like,
Yes.
like the Howard Stern thing? Did you
The
ever see
giant
the
one.
Howard Stern thing where he had the ass man when he
And
was
a
ass
little
man?
turd comes out. Somebody's calling me.
Oh, is that what it
But
was?
anyway, instead of a
Yeah.
turd coming out, it's a little person, and then he waves, and then credits. And then you just feature only 4
And that's the
people.
movie?
That's the whole movie.
I say we do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Blair Witch started on like $10,000.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. No, we don't even need $10. We need $5.
Yeah, $5. We're golden.
We need a little person, and then you need some fried chicken meal. For
Maybe
KFC.
I changed my degree from anthropology to cinematography.
Dude, you even need a degree.
That's true.
You just show
I
up.
need to learn how to like operate all the equipment and stuff, though.
YouTube.
The editing and the
You-
slicing.
you-
You can really learn them.
I learned how to fix my car off YouTube.
I think we should talk about YouTube for a second and get people to look at our Patreon site. We need to put a link to our Patreon site.
YouTube fucking sucks.
YouTube
Super
sucks.
hard.
Yeah, so what YouTube did is demonetized us.
All the
Yeah.
way.
Were y'all doing the AdSense thing?
Yeah. They won't place ads on us because we're controversial.
Yeah. Just because we talk about real shit and we talk about what normal people talk about. This is a living room conversation. This is a campfire conversation. This is your normal road trip conversation. This is a conversation that probably every American, if not every person in the world, has.
Or should have.
That's another thing I'm thinking about doing is getting 3 lawn chairs or 4 lawn chairs and routing all the wires outside and getting that little fire.
And we
pit.
just sit outside and do
Thing.
fireside chats.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried that once with one of the salt crystals. We did a fireside chat podcast with just that light.
Oh,
It actually
wow.
turned out pretty cool.
In the flashlight. in the
But
corner.
anyway, YouTube demonetized us. So now when you watch us, you
We
don't
don't
see
make-
any ads and
yeah.
we make
Good.
nothing.
We don't make any money.
I mean,
Well,
that's,
that's
So
not
we're gonna
good,
need
yeah.
about $5 before you leave.
yeah.
Yeah. Not joking.
I got a Sally's card.
Just to pay
I'll
the
take
lights.
a Tom's on rewards.
Just to pay for the lights. But yeah, several freaking some people, I mean, they made their living on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's all they did.
All the big guys like H3, what's his name? Phil DeFranco, the guy who was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Mhm.
They still do it on YouTube, but they don't get a lot of money from YouTube, so they do Patreon.
They funnel people in the other way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They get
Yeah.
people to go to this. Like they do little kind of subscription.
I subscribe to one
Subscription
called
thing.
What you drinking on?
This is wine.
Little wine.
This one that I follow is called Psych Substances, and it's a guy in Canada, and he talks about different hallucinogens and stuff.
Well,
And
fuck yeah, there, bud.
right,
Yeah.
and he talks about the pros and the cons and everything. He covers acid and mushrooms and all kinds of crazy stuff. And they started demonetizing them, and there for a while, just on Patreon, he was making about $6,000 a month. And he showed his AdSense because a couple people that were following the YouTube called him out and said, "Oh, you're full of crap." And he actually showed the graphs. What happened is recently YouTube changed their algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
And when they did that, and the reason they did that was pressure
Net
because of
neutrality.
these.
Yep.
It was pressure from companies. They were like, too many
Yeah,
people on
yeah.
YouTube cuss, or too many people are anti-Trump, or too
Walmart
many
did a
people are.
boycott. Honda, I think, did a boycott. A bunch of these
Yeah,
companies
of
just
YouTube.
pulled their ads off of YouTube. That's why if you ever watch it on your phone, you see a lot of apps, those like Clash of Clans bullshit on YouTube before a video comes on because a lot of ads dipped out.
Yeah, you don't see Toyota ads anymore.
No. Walmart
pulled
pulled
out.
it. Amazon pulled it, and a lot of time people were struggling.
But I mean, he was making he showed because he was open on YouTube. He showed
Which is
this,
also
which is funny.
against your contract when you're
Right.
with YouTube. You can't show how much money you make.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
And
He's
some of
super demonetized.
yeah. So some of his sites were making some of them as much as like $600 a month.
Yeah.
And the same site, like he showed one after another, dropped down to like 6 cents, 4 cents, 0. And he would get them in the beginning. So the first day he would make his normal stuff. And as soon as those algorithms caught like the content, what he was talking about, boom.
Yeah. I mean, one guy who makes like car videos, but he doesn't. I mean, he cusses, but he doesn't talk about Trump. He doesn't talk about who he.
Yeah, just
what
cussing.
he believes
Just cussing
in.
gets you demonetized.
Yeah, and he makes like $2,000 a video.
Yeah.
Which is fucking
It's ridiculous.
But people, that's what they're not doing. They're not fighting YouTube for censorship. They're fighting.
Well,
they're just like
It's
I
supporting
want-
ignorance.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Remember I talked about McGregor. What you need is an outlier. So Facebook killed MySpace.
Mhm.
So all you techies out there, what's the next thing behind YouTube?
Video killed the radio star. Maybe one of those.
It's time. I mean, YouTube's gotten long in the tooth and old, and
Long in the tooth.
they've caved to corporate interest.
Yeah.
Well, there was I think it was on Sister Giant. I don't even know how to explain this group, but they have a lot of speakers on. Marianne Williamson, she teaches a lot of like A Course in Miracles and things like that, and like people finding their own path. And
What's this
on? Sister Giant. It was a giant conference that they held, and they were all talking about bringing together spirituality and science and how you need the two together.
So similar to a TED Talk format?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And they had a speaker on there who was talking about the history of media and all of the, like, there used to be somewhere around like 10,000 different independent media outlets.
Now there's
And
6.
then, yeah. Well, when he said it was 10, so that must have been,
There's 6.
they bought them up. That's mean they just keep buying them up. And that just goes to show, like the other night, we were watching ABC and just counting the commercials, and it back to back, it was 6 prescription things for like heart medicine or heart diabetes,
hate
all
those.
that. And then for like junk food, and then more medicine.
Oh my god.
And then back to their
Illuminati.
show. Yeah. Like,
Super Illuminati.
They
Those people are real.
even do it on Hulu. I haven't had a regular TV in 4 years now.
Dude, YouTube has TV now.
So
you
I don't
pay
I
like
don't-
$30
I don't
a
watch
month,
any
you got
of that,
TV.
and I stay away from that. And I really think that makes a difference in your life. I mean, I really believe that. I'm not being hokey or kooky on that.
no, but this whole subconscious, like you're downloading all this information.
If nothing else, just the advertisement.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, all I have is YouTube, and then Sarah has Hulu. You know, and when I go there, I watch Hulu. But I don't watch TV. You know, I don't
you
see
mean regular cable television?
Yeah, I don't
have
see
it.
any of that.
We
And
don't
so
usually
I don't-
either, unless it's like local news,
Yeah.
and then we're trying to, you know, like
I
what's
have
going
direct
on.
TV and I don't even fucking use it.
Yeah, I don't do any of that.
I
And,
just
and I think
contracted
it
in.
changes
Just
your
pretty much
outlook.
paying for commercials, I think, with satellite. And
Yeah,
cable.
that's why, like, you know, the Fire Stick thing, people been jailbreaking them. I did that.
Roku.
Oh my god, that shit is the dopest. I watched literally all 5 movies that hasn't even hit Redbox yet. Yeah, I
Good.
watched.
Do you have King Arthur? I want to see that.
I have that. I have one. I've watched Wonder Woman. It's. Yeah. I watched Fast 8. That came on DVD
Yeah.
now. I watched the new Transformers. And I'm paying for shit. I spent $35.
That's got Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yeah.
What?
Marky Mark.
What's his name? Shia LaBeouf
Yeah.
went fucking insane. He's in jail because he was threatening a cop.
Really?
Yeah. He says homeboy now.
He's an interesting cat, though.
I guess I haven't kept up with it. I don't really keep up with
Yeah,
celebrity
he-
drama.
Well, it was on Facebook and it was like Shia LaBeouf threatens to end cop life, and I was like,
what was the Moonshiner movie he was in?
oh, Limitless, I think. No, Limitless is a TV show.
That's Bradley Cooper.
Lawless.
Lawless. Did you ever see Lawless? Oh, great movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah.
Of course, he was in the original. He was the original Transformer guy.
Yeah. Then he went fucking ballistic.
Yeah.
You know.
But Lawless, I mean, but I don't know what to say about that. I mean, a lot of people who become famous, society says they go crazy. Is
he
it
went
that
fucking-
they're artistic and they're not sheeple, and they get into a situation where they see behind the curtain? Are they
Yeah.
looking behind the Wizard of Oz?
But he went fucking.
well,
out there.
it might make you go out there if you see.
Well, he's also been like a child. He started as a child.
Yeah, he was a
Disney
Disney star.
Most people that start
Yeah.
out as a child star end
That's
up,
true.
you know,
That is
like,
true.
had enough.
But I mean,
Yeah.
think about this. So, like the 27 Club, right? So, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, Heath Ledger, you know, all these cats end up
Cats.
kill themselves, commit suicide in one form or another at 27.
Yeah.
What is it about? A lot of these people are artistic people, and what do artistic people have in common? Artistic people are very empathic, right? They're very, they feel more than
More
probably
emotional
normal people,
people.
right? And they're not as calloused, and they're not maybe as jaded. And so when these people hit a certain level and they get to see how things really are, it might make you go crazy. Maybe the cause is society and not
Well, you're
the
also
person.
working non-fucking stop.
Yeah, but if you listen to how they all talk before the end, they all hit this disillusionment wall. I mean, very similar to what Russell Brand, we were talking about this with Chris, the owner of the CBD store, before you got here, is we were talking about Russell Brand's book, Revolution. Have you read that?
Mm-mm.
Russell Brand, you think he's like this goofy comedian dude.
Oh no, he's serious.
He wrote a book called Revolution where he dives deep and he talks about all the stuff that I know I'm doing. He talks about all the stuff that's not sustainable and just how he got disillusioned when he reached everything. At first, he did drugs to try to find enlightenment, to try to find purpose, and eventually he was sold this bill of goods, which we all are, is work hard, make lots of money, and you'll be perfect. And he did that. He worked hard, made lots of money, became the superstar, and went to all these parties. And it's like everyone that he saw at the parties were like plastic and fake, and he was doing yoga on the side. So as he was becoming famous, he started getting a little bit more into yoga. As you know, these two trains were about to collide, and he didn't know it. And he realized the most real people were these people on this different path. And so he wrote this book, Revolution. If you haven't read it, it's amazing. But the point is,
you got it.
yeah, I'll loan it to you. The point is, I don't necessarily follow the crowd when it comes to, well, so and so was a child star actor and that's why, or so and so was a druggie and that's why. There's a common denominator here that I don't think we've dug deep enough to see what the real issue is.
I think it's Disney Channel.
It could be. I mean, that's all part. It's
Every
all owned by
Disney
ABC.
Channel-
It's just one. And I'm not saying. And I'm saying like it's a combination of the both because like if you're a child and you're taught all this, you have to act a certain way from a child, and you can't express
You gotta
yourself.
look at it through the child's
Like-
eyes. You know, like the Michael Jackson thing. You never had a childhood and you weren't fucking weird. But
I mean,
a lot of the weird ones
And it
were
molds
Disney
like it
Channel
molds
kids.
them, and then like eventually,
Yeah.
they want to.
I mean, look at Miley Cyrus. Look at fucking Shia LaBeouf. Raven Simone went off the rocker for a while. I mean, they're all Disney Channel child stars. And they just went fucking. They had a moment where they went ape shit.
Well, the other weird thing is supposedly in your DNA you can carry pain. You ever heard that one?
Yeah, well, I think we talked about that.
So there's pain and trauma that imprints itself literally in your genetic makeup, and you pass that on to your lineage. You pass that on to your children, and that explains why the Irish are the way the Irish are, and why African Americans are a certain way, and Native Americans is there's this pain, there's this trauma that can be transferred.
You're carrying a scar in your DNA.
Forget one of a lady I used to work or where I used to work at. She was a hairdresser, but she took like psychology classes and stuff like that. And they talked about how when a mother has children, you have a part of her and everything behind it. So like my mom, and I have two older brothers. So like my mom gave birth to my brother, and then he has a part of my mom. But then like whenever she gave birth to my second brother, he has a part of my mom and the brother. And I'm the baby, so I have pieces of them. So I'm like, and I seem to be the most like.
That's a crazy concept.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really
I never
think
thought
about
of it
that,
that way.
if you think about that, that's crazy.
God, I have a part of my sister in me.
Yeah.
But it helps you, like, that's why you can create that bond and,
Maybe
like,
that's why I'm
understand
not
people
psycho,
better.
like she is. I can kind of understand people better. Because she is a fucking mental case. I hope she's watching this. She loves it.
Probably not. She'll be
Yeah, that's a
jealous.
really interesting way of looking at it. I never even thought of it like that.
I mean, the weird thing is, and we think this is weird, but most other cultures think what we do with dead bodies is weird.
We eat them.
Is a lot of indigenous peoples slept on top of their ancestors. So if they lived in a hut, if
You just
grandma died,
lay a blanket on grandma, and you put a pillow on her face.
You dig a hole and you bury grandma,
Okay.
and then you sleep.
Right?
you sleep there. And when archaeologists, even in Pensacola, they've dug up. There was a mission in Molino that they found, a Spanish mission, and the Spanish mission had the priests, and a lot of Catholicism did this. You buried the bishop there in the church. So the bishop's soul or body, whatever, stayed there in the church.
Goes down with the ship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what they found is they were missionaries, so they were trying to convert the natives, and the native huts were around the mission. And when you dig the different layers of where the native hut was, there would be 6-7 generations deep.
That's just fucking weird.
And so you slept in your cemetery, basically.
That's legit. That's freaking.
And that helps you keep your, because, the other thing is you did hallucinogens to speak to your ancestors to gain wisdom and knowledge. And like if you ran into a problem like, dude, my woman's being rough, what do I do? You talk to your ancestors. Your ancestors guided you on what to do about everything, life.
I could see that. Like, have you read the Celestine Prophecy?
Mm.
Oh man, it's
What
so
is
good.
it?
It's the Celestine Prophecy. It's a trilogy book. It's an adventure, but has more metaphysical. I call them facts, but like metaphysical things in there. But the Celestine Prophecy talks about the first 9 insights on how to kind of manipulate energy and how we, like maybe understanding it better, that kind of thing. And then there's the 10th insight, and then the last one is Shangri-La or Shambhala, whatever.
I have heard of something like this.
But they talk about how, like whenever it goes into the other spirit realm, and how like whenever this is a lesson here, and then whenever we die, we go up or wherever, and then there's like a spirit group, and every time you go, like you are reborn, you have the same soul group with you, but it might be a different form, but you're trying to learn this kind of lesson to be able to get to Shangri-La.
It's like a video game. You're getting levels.
You're guiding yourself to the end game, pretty much.
You're gaining levels.
Yeah.
Damn, I died. That was a stupid mistake.
Yep.
Let's start over.
You eat the mushroom, you get bigger.
Yep.
You find the heart, you got another heart. Boom, 9 lives.
There is a movie on it. Like if you can find it, it's okay. It touches on, but it's nothing like the book.
What's the name of it again?
The Celestine Prophecy.
The Celestine Prophecy.
Now I'm interested.
So it goes into like Peru, Machu Picchu.
You're the freaking.
I know. I haven't heard of this.
And then I guess Shangri-La is where they finally get to where all like the monks are, but they're all there on like an energy level. You have to be on a certain mindset in order to see them.
I gotta get on our level. Give me some of your doodad.
My vape?
Yeah.
It's in the trunk.
Wow.
Here, I'll be nice.
Look at that.
You're so awesome.
First guest star. A lot of people claim the ancients. Have you been into Graham Hancock at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh, good. You won't. It's hard.
I can't tell the whole story, but in essence, Graham Hancock was. How fast can I make this? Graham Hancock was a writer for a British newspaper and traveled a lot.
He's awesome to listen to.
And
Just not reading.
he ran into a place in Ethiopia when he was on writing about a story, and was like walking around the town just getting a feel for it, and came upon this building with armed guards and thought it was odd, and asked the guy, what's with the guns? And we're guarding. What are you guarding? The Ark. And he said, like the Ark, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Ark of the Covenant. And they're like, yeah. Christianity started in Ethiopia. A lot of people don't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
They claim they have the Ark. And so that started him on a path of trying to understand ancient civilizations, and then he just went nerd on it and quit writing and started writing books. And so he's basically an amateur archaeologist / historian. But the difference between him is he realizes that he's not the expert, so he gathers experts.
Yeah.
So he'll grab a geologist, or he'll grab, whatever. And so him and his wife dived a couple places off Japan, and there's man-made structures, 6,000 feet below the sea and all kinds of crazy stuff. But a lot of what he says and what a lot of other people say is that even here on Earth in our space-time, that mankind was way more advanced than we are today and had way more advanced civilization, and it got wiped out.
Diamond energy?
Maybe by a cataclysmic event, maybe a meteor hit is what they're thinking, and just wiped knowledge clean. And what's weird, because you mentioned Peru, is up in Bolivia, is it Lake Tiahuaca, something like that?
I don't know, man. Keep saying it.
The big lake that's up in the Andes, that's in Bolivia. They have a myth, a story, that Villaroca, which was a red-haired dude that wore almost like a tunic.
Are you saying red hair like ginger, or are you saying red hair like he had
like
red?
ginger?
Okay.
But he wore plain sandals and almost like a burlap sack with a rope. He showed up after the flood, the same flood that's in the Epic of Gilgamesh that is written by the Sumerians, the same Noah flood, the same flood that the Incas documented. Mm-hmm. So this flood existed. It happened. We've got records of it. But this Villaroca guy showed up and taught the peoples how to farm. Where did he come from? Mm-hmm. And who was he?
And who taught him?
Yeah. But supposedly all farming came from him. And there's all these legends of these people that restarted society. And basically we were advanced Atlantis, and then everything got wiped out, and we kind of lost knowledge and we lost technology. And we were basically thrown back into the Stone Age, and now we're trying to restart, which is really weird if you think about it. But cocky people today are like, "Oh no, we're the most advanced civilization we've ever been." Blah blah blah.
We're the youngest country, like in the.
No, it just in the world in general,
You almost got it.
But supposedly the ancient technologies were less about computers and more about harmonics. A lot of people claim that they lifted the stones in Machu Picchu and the pyramid and a lot of the Mayan pyramids with sound frequencies. That there was some weird device that they created, sonic sound, and the priest lifted the stones in place and built the pyramids.
You just went full circle.
Yeah. That was the point.
Yeah. Good job. Congratulations. Wow. Sound frequencies. Oh yeah, we talked about weird frequencies. Me and Brett did. He was researching a study on frequencies and how it can change your mood, help you focus, help you sleep, all kinds of stuff. Even to sexual needs. Sound frequencies are there for everything, which is really weird.
I just think it's amazing how many things that are out there that may or may not work that people are stonewalled against.
I'll try anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll try anything.
I want to do this cryo center.
I want to try that. I'm just scared to try that.
Joe Rogan claims that that's like the shit's it.
Yeah, because you're putting your body in a fight or flight mode?
Yeah.
And it just releases everything that you need.
And Wim Hof, you ever heard of Wim Hof? Wim Hof is this crazy dude. And he's Danish? I don't know, he's Scandinavian of some sort. And he literally has done tests where he does breathing techniques. And to him, cold is God. And he jumps in ice and he breaks all kinds of records. Like he literally climbed Mount Everest in his shorts.
What?
Weird shit. And it's legit. So he's trained these students. He said that he can control his immune system with his brain,
I think I've heard
with breathing.
About this.
And so people are like, bullshit. He's like, no, I'll show you. I'll take some of my students. I'll teach them my technique. And they went into a lab and they injected with some kind of bacteria. And they injected it in them. They did their technique. They tested them. Nothing in their blood.
What? I want to get this dude
that study went out, and another group said bullshit, called foul, do it in our lab, and he reproduced it. And he was on Joe Rogan's podcast But to him, everything's about cold and not necessarily the cold, but the breathing. What happens is the cold forces you to learn how to control your breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you learn that, you basically, it's the same, you're going to the same place that the whirling dervishes get, or the people that stab themselves with weird metal, or the people who go on fasting, or the people who do sweat lodges, or the people who do ayahuasca. Or, I mean, everyone's trying to get to the same spot using a different technique. The point is, it's there. And why is it mainstream science just all in? I mean, like a poker tournament. All in, motherfucker.
I'd be diving into DMT.
Because they don't
like
want
it
you
was
to
nothing.
get cured because then they lose money.
I know, but why is everything about money?
I don't know.
Money. Why? Why are we trying to figure out
Chasing this
why
paper.
we're here, where we come from, where we're going? You know, we spend 52% of our budget, our taxes on bombs.
Because that doesn't get me a new Honda.
Well, fuck your Honda.
Fuck your
I want to
Honda.
know where I'm going when I die. I don't care about a
Talk to
Honda.
the Japanese, man.
Kiki Deska.
Or even just make it better when we're living.
There you go.
Are we fucking up this? Well, what Stephen Hawking said, we only have 100 years left on this planet before we have to fucking dip out and find another one.
Yeah, it's funny. We talk about how smart people are until they say something smart, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
it really
we
is,
turn
right?
our back.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Hawking was like the golden child. They made movies about him.
Fuck,
Everything
he
was.
still is.
Well, we
And
used
then-
to think the Earth was flat, and then they thought that guy was crazy.
But Stephen Hawking's recently
Super
spoke out
fly.
against AI and said, "AI's not what you think it is. It's not what you think it's going to be. You need to slow the fuck down."
Yeah,
And then he talked about
scary.
population control, and now all of a sudden, no one wants to talk about Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, because
Elon Musk is the same way.
Yeah, because he's spreading truth because he's the smartest person on the fucking planet,
Yeah.
and people are just like, "Oh,
I
he's
don't
got
wanna
a
hear that.
virus in his little talking bot. Don't pay attention." to
Yeah,
him.
fuck him.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
isn't it? Because anybody can, as long as they say something crazy, but it's from a smart person, people will start throwing the
as
crazy
long as
at
it's
it.
not too far outside of their agenda,
Yeah.
which is consume,
Mm-hmm.
buy shit, just buy shit, spend money, buy
If you
shit.
look at what we're buying, it's fucking
It's junk.
Dude, I work in the back of Walmart all the time. Every time I go to a Walmart or a Publix and I have to go into
I
go into
boycott.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when they I have to work their backstock for beer. I never seen so much bullshit
Just
in the
junk.
back of that goddamn Walmart. It's just retarded. I saw in one stack you think that they take care of this shit? It's all just fucking TVs and shit just stacked on a pallet. Just not saran wrapped, and then you can see all the stuff that
Made
people
by
throw
political
away.
prisoners who are 9 years old
Yeah.
in a sweat factory.
Yeah. All the stuff
But
people return
I've got a
is
60-inch TV to
ridiculous.
watch the Alabama-Auburn game on.
Yeah. And see all the
Roll
terms
Tide.
they get and how people don't give a shit of what they have. It's astonishing.
Something's got to change.
When
I'm
you-
waiting for the outliers.
When you see the beating heart of Walmart, it's really creepy.
That's why I'm out of that game.
Well, you can see it through the people. Like whenever it went from the whole
Oh,
like
yeah.
transition, and y'all were talking about this in another podcast about like the Waltons and the Cook brothers and all that. But like it's a huge conglomerate now. But back whenever Sam Walton owned it, I've heard stories from older people who like he would give you the shirt off his back
Yeah.
and he would get all
Yeah,
kinds of
I
money
watched
back.
a documentary on
Yeah.
him. Like, I go into Walmart not as a consumer. I go in there to work my product.
Yeah, you're a worker.
Yeah, I'm looking at all, and when I'm there at 6 o'clock in the morning, watching these people is just like watching zombies.
Well, what about the truck driver we talked to?
Oh, the dude who drew the tunnel? I didn't talk to him. You talked to him.
What's the story?
So this is Alex Jones shit. This is like
This is
like
interdimensional
this
child
is like
molesters right here.
tinfoil hat shit. So if you go on YouTube or Google or wherever, you hear about these tunnels that crisscross the country for like the apocalypse, right? So I might have had one or two of these and maybe a little bit of that. And
I
a
feel
customer came
wonderful.
in and
Right now.
he was a truck driver. And I started laughing, and I was like, yeah, so you ever driven one of them tunnels? And I was being like completely
Bro.
facetious, like fucking with him. And he was dead serious and was like, yeah, I've done that once or twice. It's creepy. And I went, whoa, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? Like, you're not fucking with me.
Yeah,
you're
dude.
real. He's like, yeah, you got to like scan your badge and shit. And you go in there. He said, but I mean, it's nice. You get out of the weather.
Man,
That was his concept, was there was nothing weird about this, but there was no traffic and you got out of the weather.
You're the only one in the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that shit's real.
And since
What's he delivering?
He
I've
worked for Walmart.
yeah.
He was a Walmart
Works for
delivery
Swift.
driver. He was a truck driver for Walmart.
there's that other, because I've seen this on YouTube, is that
Where they show the I've seen YouTube
well,
where they show
I was
the outside
watching
of the
that,
tunnels.
and I was watching them talk about Walmart's meat and how it's a part of that population control, and how they're dumbing people
the
down.
Rosicrucians.
When you go to Walmart, they'll have that little Best Buy sticker. The employees put that on, and it's usually the meat's already been out for about 3-4 days, and then they put another 5 days on top of that, usually on beef. So they get those, and I'm not bullshitting, I've seen them come off the truck. They get meat that's in vacuum packages, kind of like those little bubble pop that you get in like FedEx packages. They come in that, they store them in a cooler, and usually when I'm working my product, they're putting meat out. So they're pulling them out on trays, and the guys will take their little Palm Pilot, and it'll show you what, because one of the customers was doing this, and he would scan it. It would come out the day it was received. So usually, like, let's say May 3rd, and it'll be Best Buy May 8th. So they're going to put that out. And they have those oxygen removers shit that you usually get in, like, beef jerky.
Yeah.
They put that in the packages with the sealed meat.
To try to keep it.
Yeah. To preserve it longer.
Oh.
That shit is I don't buy meat from them anymore. I go to wherever there's a local butcher, or
Listen,
if somebody has a butcher on staff.
Do you know it's
Wow.
a federal crime in the U.S. for any journalist to enter any meat packing operation?
Yeah.
Like even the grow houses, like to go to a chicken grow house or a beef grow.
You can get arrested
operation.
on site if you're in the parking lot.
It is federal crime. Now that tells you something.
Why are they protected? Like why is there nobody asking these questions?
That's the point. That's why we ask these questions.
Yeah, that's why
Look
we
it
talk
up.
about
That's a
shit.
federal crime. That's a federal crime.
And it's not like we're not talking about shit that's conspiracies that you see
no,
on
this
YouTube.
is real shit.
I've experienced this firsthand.
This
at
is real
Walmart.
shit. Yeah.
I mean, like, if you walk in,
but the scary thing is a lot of the things that I thought were conspiracy theories that I would see on YouTube or wherever, I would find real, people, and I would ask them, and they're like, "Oh no, that's legit."
Yeah. Like, dude, seriously, I go to Walmart and then I go straight to Publix. Going to those two companies is fucking weird. It's night or day. Walmart feels just cold-hearted and just a machine.
Mm-hmm.
You go into Publix, it's like walking to your house.
Weird.
You have a butcher shop that has fresh meat delivered every day. You have people that are in love with their job and treat people like they're gold. And they treat me like shit because I have holes I need to fill.
And Walmart's like some
Walmart's just
sci-fi
like
movie out of the
produce.
future.
Yeah. You need to get rid of the Snapple, which is our best-selling product, because we need to put our displays up. Like,
well, the weirdest thing, and I said this to Sarah like yesterday or the day before yesterday. We're driving around, and I get a little bit of road rage sometimes. I shouldn't.
it's super road rage.
But
And now I have a truck.
I know I sound like an old person when I say this because I sound like my grandfather used to sound. People seem to be getting dumber.
Oh, dude. What the fuck was this? I was at a store, and it was Richie's. It was Richie's East. I fucking hate them.
Trading with the enemy.
Yeah. I was sitting in their parking lot talking to one of the managers. It was a good wine. It's been in the heat. I was talking to one of their managers. No, I'm not sorry. It wasn't Richie's. It was Publix Liquor. There was a Miata that some lady dipped out and went to Publix in the main store. Yeah, man, that's a whole cup. She left her German Shepherd in the car.
Windows up and everything?
It was like 89, 90 degrees out.
It
That
is
just rained.
literally. I've gotten in my truck and I've seen 126 on the thing.
I had my
Literally.
I've had my my liquor store buddy. I'm gonna have him on the podcast next. He's mind-blowingly crazy. That he's 23 and he's done all kinds of fucking psychotics and he's Egyptian. But I had him call the manager and announce it on the thing while I went and got the dog water and was giving him water while this dumb bitch was
They're
fucking
trying to find who the owner is.
yeah. Like whoever left their German Shepherd and a red Miata, like I was
Dude, they do
literally
that
about
with
to break their
children.
glass.
Mm-hmm.
They do that with children.
Just
Yeah.
forget their kids are in the back seat and leave.
I was
Now,
gonna,
is it the pharmaceuticals? Is it something in the meat?
It's a combination of lack of nutrients too.
Oh yeah.
There's a thing of whole.
You're not
like,
getting what your brain
the
and body
whole-
needs.
And
Yeah.
like the whole low fat, high carb industry.
Oh
like
yeah.
your hormones,
need
your
fat.
brain, everything needs
Yeah.
fat. Like
Yeah,
it's,
you need fat.
mhm.
Yeah. Like I was literally.
Omega-3.
The lady was acting like it was no big deal. Like she was like, "Oh my god," but I mean,
Your dog's in
the dog's in the car. I was gonna break the window, keep the dog, like for real. I was gonna keep them at Publix liquor.
Oh, I would dare a cop to say something to me.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm sure he'd be on your side.
Oh yeah, because there's canine units. I make sure they send a canine unit. Fuck that. That was a crazy. I mean, like literally in Florida with the long haired dog, and people just oblivious, like it's a normal thing.
Dude, all you have to do is watch how people drive.
Oh, I do.
It's the zombie apocalypse.
I drive 100 miles almost a day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I honk my horn all the time, every day.
Oh, I get on it. I
Yeah.
use it. I mean, it's there for a reason.
Yeah. I almost got this lady was flipping a U-turn on Bayou. And she, you know how that turning lane going towards the rave, or it's not the rave, Carmike. There's a turn lane for Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
You just get in the turn lane. The lady pulled out in front of me. I honked at her. Then she got in the turn lane, then got in front of me. Oh my, I almost
It
got
has
out
no
of
idea.
that bitch.
Has no idea why you're hungry.
Yeah, no blinker.
Has no
No,
idea.
nothing. And just like, why are you mad? I think she flicked me off. I'm not sure, but
I
was
flash
livid.
people when it's raining and they don't have their headlights on,
I do that.
but they just
Me
look
too.
at me like, what's my problem?
Ugh.
Yeah,
Your car has a feature.
I don't understand.
Auto. Put the headlights to that.
Okay, so what's the solution?
To
Get rid of
What?
McDonald's.
All this bullshit, does it end? I mean, you're not one of them. I'm not one of them. You're not one of them. So, I mean, is there enough of us to change this train?
I think so, and that's where I think it's.
Eventually.
I
It's
think it's
heading
the
that way.
majority. Like you don't need everybody to change, but just the whole 80-20 split, the majority to kind of start shifting. And I've noticed that too, the whole ripple effect. Like you can't push, and with energy too, you can't push things on people. You just kind of have to live it and wait till they're ready to ask questions, and be patient with them as opposed to just like, why don't you know this? Some people are just like
That's my problem.
condescending. Yeah, well, not you, but like people are
No,
sitting
that's me.
around.
That's definitely me.
I think that's just
It is.
being the change, being good to people, having compassion.
Live by example.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to get that 60% and then have it down. And that's when I think it starts heading. Because there's an uprising. Slowly.
So wait for all the old white codgers to die off.
Pretty much.
I'm with you.
Oh, did you see the mayor in Pensacola? Oh, you know how that was an officer that died, right?
I didn't know that.
No? It was a whole
Mhm.
thing on Facebook. I forgot her. Diana or something like that. Her nickname was Doof. They repainted the whole graffiti bridge after her. Anyway, so the Escambia County Sheriffs held a memorial, I believe, honoring her death. And they had, a placard and everything. And they took a picture of the mayor underneath the little canopy thing doing this.
He was on the phone the whole time.
Yeah.
He just checked a box on his agenda. Must go to memorial. Check.
Boop. When's my meeting? Next meeting.
Yeah,
For some
we've
money.
lost humanity.
Yeah, I mean, a person died serving line of duty.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's what
And just-
consumerism does.
Don't really care. And that's right here in Pensacola.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How far are we in?
Oh, we've been doing this for about an hour and a half, I think.
Okay. Cut it.
I need a cigarette. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for
Thank
joining us. Congratulations on the gift.
I'm sure
And,
you'll get good use out of it.
Let's
Pretty
spread the
excited.
word and get some more, maybe your peeps. The lady you were talking about, the water lady, and maybe the business
Mhm.
lady.
Christy and Lori.
Yeah,
bring more
get them
people
on the
our way.
podcast
Yeah.
and
Big love.
yeah, there you go. Exactly. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.